So Akum Hellhound, 1 mana, 0/1. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, +2/+2. This card is probably not good. Probably. Step Links in the past, I think, was not. Play to Geopede is different. Play to Geopede hit harder. You know, back in the past was a 2 mana 1/1 first strike landfall +2/+2. That card was very good. Step Links was not. Especially since I don't think Red has access to multiple landfall abilities, like putting multiple lands into play. So that's just a hard pass. You should never play this card. Ardent Electromancer. When it enters the battlefield, add red for each creature in your party. This is like a constructed combo card. This is not a card you play. It's 3/2 no text. That's what it is. So, Cleansing Wildfire. Destroy target land. A controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped and stuff. Now, this is an interesting card. Because I think a vast majority of the time you're going to be targeting your own land. This is kind of like a mini landfall, mini Harrow, mini mana fixer, right? I mean, I guess you could target your opponent's like rare spell land if you think they're going to pick it up. But I think a vast majority of the time you're targeting your own stuff with this. So this is actually a really cool card. And this actually gives red mana fixing, which is sweet. And this is a card you're probably almost always going to play. Expedition Champion. Expedition Champion gets +2 as long as you control another warrior. I love 4 power 3-drops, especially in red. And I like 3 mana 4/2 no tax is just like one of my favorite cards. So it's like there was like was Alpine Grizzly, which is like a 2 and a green 5/2 for 3, and it's just like I loved it. I loved that card. It's always traded up. You're probably going to need at least 5 or 6 other warriors. I mean, even at the baseline, this card's not horrible. 2/3 is not a bad stat line. I would say 5 or 6 warriors play this. If you don't bother. You got to be very careful with these types of cards. I've said this before with all the other the versions of this card. Well, like stat bonus as long as you control another party member type cards. Where your opponent, like, you can attack into like a 4/4 thinking that, oh, if they block, it's going to be a trade. Then they block and kill your other warrior with an instant speed removal spell or bounce it or what have you. And then you just get 1 for 2, right, for free. So you got to be careful with that. As long as you're careful with that, I think this card is probably going to be good. 4 power is the magic number, so I'm a big fan. When it's the battlefield, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. A 2/1 for 2 is not an actual card, and Rummaging is not worth a card, so this is a card you should almost never play. 2 mana 2/1s that have like marginal component play abilities have never been good in sealed, but sealed is way too slow for this type of effect. 1/4s rule the day. 2/3s and 1/4s are what everybody plays at 3-drop slot, and you can't have your 2-drop just be a stone blank. But this card is great. So Grotek Bug Catcher, trample. It's a 2 mana 1/2 trample. Obviously sounds bad. When Grotek Bug Catcher attacks, it gets +1/+0 to end a turn for each creature in your party. Now something to keep in mind is it checks on resolution, but if your party members leave play afterwards, it does not change it. So for instance, you attack, it resolves, it's a 3/2. If someone kills one of your clerics, your cleric that was buffing this, it doesn't shrink afterwards. So once it resolves, it's locked in for the rest of the turn. This card is bananas. First of all, it's a 2/2 trample on its own, right? Because it's a warrior, which is, I think it's so weird for these type of effects to just be one smaller but always count themselves. So it's like really weird to evaluate them at first glance. Itself is a party of 1. So you just curve Grotek Bug Catcher into another creature. Now you got a 3/2 trample for 2, and that's awesome. Go into like a 4/2 trample, or God forbid, 5/2 trample. This card is phenomenal. You should almost always be playing this card. I don't even know how you're playing red and not playing this card. It does exactly what he wanted to do, and it's a 2-drop. It's a slot that the other colors have really been lacking cards in. Like, other colors have like 2/2 blanks. Like 2/2 vigilance, or like 2/2 conditional lifelinks, or like, yeah. This card is bananas. You're gonna lose to that. You're gonna lose to Goblin Grotek Bug Catcher a lot. Inordinate Rage. Target creature gets +3/+2 until the turn, scry 1. I'm not a huge fan of Giant Growths in general, but scry 1, now you're speaking my language. Now, like the stat line is actually such that you can actually trade up and live. Like, you can send your 2/2 into a 3/3, and you kill their dude, and your guy lives. And the scry one afterwards is like very, very useful, especially in red decks, because you're often looking for like those last few points of damage. I think you should probably be playing this one over a vast majority of the time if you're red and you're attacking. Especially since your Premier 2-drop, a common Premier 2-drop has Trample. So this will probably be like, save your guy, kill their guy, deal 2 damage to them is probably what it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be good. Molten Blast. Deal 2 damage to our creature, Planeswalker, destroy target artifact. Yikes. This card is not a Braid. I would probably not play this card. 3-mana shocks are not like... not a thing. I'm not really... It can't even go to face. Yikes. I'm going to expect that I would almost never play this card. I would rather have like 3/3 no text or 3/2 no text instead of this card the vast majority of the time. Probably a decent cyber card if there was like a rare equipment for you needed to kill. But I think other than that, you should almost never play this. Pyroclastic Helium. Whenever Pyroclastic Helium enters the battlefield, it may return a land you control to its owner's hand. When you do, Pyroclastic Helium does 2 damage to each opponent. This card's great. I was a huge fan in the last Ravnica block. The first Ravnica set had Dowser and Gloom, I think it was called. It was a 4 and a black, 4/5, no text. And that card was great. Its ability was that it was a 4/5 for 5. This actually has a text box. It could potentially cost 4 mana, because on turn 6 you can play this, bounce a land, play it. Obviously, I don't know if you have anything to do with 1 mana, probably not. You might have a spell land to rebuy. In that case, it's like a 5 mana 4/5 draw card. So, and it's also, it gives you reach, not in the sense that it can block flying creatures, but in the sense that if your opponent has like the ground gummed up, this can actually burn them out. So I'm a big fan of this. You should almost always be playing this. It's a great card. Royal Eruption. Deal 3 damage to any target. If it was kicked, deal 5. Okay, yeah. Always play this card. This card's great. Yeah. There isn't a universe. This is a card you can probably splash for pretty easily. Royal Eruption probably makes it so the safe life total against red is either 9 or 11. Which is a pretty... that is a pretty large life to have to maintain to not get burned out. Like 11 life total, so your opponent can just like untap, draw Royal Eruption, burn you, untap, draw another one, kill you. Like, yeah, it's any target. It's bananas, obviously. Scavenge Blade. When it enters the battlefield, attach it to a creature control. A creature gets +2/0, equipped for 3 mana. So Bone Splitter. So Bone Splitter was a format defining card at a common, which was a 1 mana artifact, pay 1 to equip, +2/0. The first one is basically reminiscent of Bone Splitter. It's 2 mana, +2/0 to a creature. It's 3 to equip afterwards. I expect this card to be playable. Not good, but playable. You would play this sometimes if your deck is aggro enough. It kind of just depends. I'm not sure it's better than Inordinate Rage. It's probably worse than Inordinate Rage. I'm actually gonna put this into like you probably shouldn't play it territory. I think a vast majority of the time, like 3/3 for 3 or 4 mana, like 4/3 is gonna be better than this. So, I mean, obviously, if you have like some sort of Equipment Matters card, maybe it changes things. But I think you should probably just not be playing that. Scorch Rider. When there's a battlefield, if it was kicked, it gains haste. Okay, 4/3 no text. Human Warrior. You can pay 2 to potentially give it haste. Yeah, this card is a card you should probably almost always play. I actually think this card's kicker is going to be kind of relevant a lot of the time, too. Summit Prowler, old Sunny P has come a long way. If you're wondering who I'm talking about, there we go. Old Sunny P. This is what red cards used to be, right? This is what 4 mana 4/3s used to be for red. 4/3 no text Yeti. Now we got 4/3 human warrior, so relevant creature type, and has kicker to get haste. Easy to cast. Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah, I'm on board with Scorch Rider. Sizzling Barrage deals 4 damage to our creature that blocked this turn. This is the good part of Gideon's approach. If your deck is aggro, you should probably play this. I can imagine you play this probably less than half the time. Sizzling Barrage. It's almost certainly worse than a combat trick like +3/+2 in Inordinate Rage. I think it's probably actually worse than Scavenge Blade as well, so you probably shouldn't be playing it. Sneaking Guide, 2 mana, 1 mana, 1/1, 2 mana tap, target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked. You should almost never play this. You should not do that. That's a hard pass on the Sneaking Guide. If it was 0, just tap to do it, maybe. Probably not still. So you should not play this card. Alright, Spitfire Layjack. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, Spitfire Layjack deals 1 damage to each opponent. Excuse me? 3/4? 7 stat points for 4? Common? Excuse me? Yeah, this card's phenomenal. Always play it. I imagine my opponent playing 2 of these and just never attacking the rest of the game, and I just lose. And it's what a combo with Pyroclastic Helium. Play a land, burn him for 1. Bounce a land, burn him for 2. Play a land. Oh, goodness gracious. Wow, this card's great. Looking forward to playing with that one. Alright, Synchronized Spellcraft. Deals 4 damage to our creature and X damage to the creature's controller or X number of creatures in your party. This is probably 4/1 or 4/2. Chandra's Outrage was 2 red. 2 red, deal 4, and then deal 2 to the creature's controller. This is probably... This is splashable. This is probably gonna do less than 2 damage, I think. It could do more, but most of the red cards are actually not party members like Lizards and Hellions. So I would actually probably expect for this to be like maybe 2 damage, 5 mana, deal 4, deal 2, which means you're always gonna play it. So gives you, it's even more burn in the face. Red has so much burn in the face in this format. It's actually crazy to me. It's a crazy to me how much burn there is. Like, I would have actually expected at least 2, I would have expected Royal Eruption to not be able to hit players. But this is 4 common burn spells. That's, wow. Alright, 2 mana, 1/3, 3 mana, Teeter Peak Ambusher gets +2 until end of turn. This is a card that you're probably never going to play. So, I mean, it's filler. It is a 2-cost warrior for your Expedition Champion. You should almost never play this card. So... Tormenting Voice is additional cost to discard this. This is not Thrill Possibility, which was an instant version of this. You're going to play this probably about half the time. It just depends how good your deck is. Like, if you have good cards to draw, if you have any 2-drops, if you have conditional cards that you'd rather, like, that you want to get rid of, cards that get worse over the course of the game. Cards like Akum Hellhound or cards like Molten Blast. These are cards that are like conditionally okay, but like in general, you don't want to draw off curve. You generally don't want to play them. So probably about half the time you're going to play Tormenting Voice. Definitely, I would almost say never play the second one. We'll put it in the playable pile for now, but you should almost never play it, like in a good deck. Yes, there's landfall, so like extra lands are actually doing something for you. Tuk Robo for it. 3 mana, 0/3 reach. Creatures you control have haste. This is a sketchy one. I would actually suspect this card is not good, because I think historically cards that have given haste, that for instance in Amonkhet there was a 1 mana 1/1 you can tap to give a creature haste. That card was decent because on turn 1 it like completely changed the course of the game. The problem with Tuk Robo 4 is it costs 3, and that's like when you actually wanted to start smashing them. Like, I would expect this card to not be a card you play in sealed at all. So, red has some really good commons. They have 10. Looks like they have about 10 cards you should... I guess I'll put Tormenting Voice in the other pile, but you're probably not going to play it. Let's make it 9. They have 9 commons, but they are good commons. Obviously, I mean, I guess Cleansing Wildfire is conditional. But I'll put this in a playable card because it's conditionally, you're probably going to play in like 80% of your decks, I bet. But yeah, these commons are all cards I'd be happy to play, you know? So... Their bad cards are kind of bad. Yeah, their bad cards are really freaking bad. Yeah, Cleansing Wildfire, you're going to target your own stuff. It's just like a double landfall for your own stuff. I'm enthusiastic to see what else Red has, but it's a decent start. The Bug Catcher is like phenomenal. The Bug Catcher makes me want to believe in Red.